Well, hi YouTubers, hi. I'm back with the 23 books of 2023, recording this in Yarmouth. And this book is a bit weird. Now, I've noticed, the shorter the books I often read, the more kind of messed up they are. I've got this in Poundland, of all things. It's called Crudo by Olivia Laing. Okay, read the blurb. Okay, here we go. Kathy is a writer. Kathy's getting married in the summer of 2017 and the whole world is falling apart. Oh, 2017. Oh, you sweet summer child. How quaint, 2017. Oh, how lovely. Oh, remember 2017? Yes. Oh, feels like a million miles away now. Okay, here we go. Blurb. From a Tuscan hotel for the super rich to a Brexit paralysed UK, Kathy spends the first summer of her 40s trying to adjust to the making of a lifelong commitment just as Trump is tweeting the world into nuclear war. But it's not only Kathy who's changing. Fascism is on the rise, truth is dead, the planet is hotting up. Is it really worth learning to love when the end of the world is nigh? And how do you make art, let alone a life, and one rogue tweet could end it all? Now, this book is very, very interesting. It's very kind of interesting style as well. Everything is from Kathy's perspective, her point of view. And this book contradicts itself, it lies, and this book is got heightened tensions when you basically it's all drama. It's all basically taking the smallest thing and making drama out of it. So, and one thing about Kathy, one thing I noticed quite quickly is that, she has imposter syndrome and she surrounds herself with just terrible people. Okay? Right. This bit here, it's only page 6, okay? This bit here, okay? My life is delicate, more delicate than my, she written to her boyfriend not long ago. I've had 11 abortions, she told someone else, which wasn't even true. Kerry was always lying. She lied when she was a child with unattractive red hair. Okay? When her hair began to fall out of the stress of living with her mother, she told the girls at school they were eaten by her rabbit. Right? Kathy lies. This book makes, it's like she's reinventing herself to make herself way more interesting. Now, in a postmodern world, what is art, what is culture? How do you reinvent things over and over again? Okay, it's when now, okay, the 90s are resurging back in fashion, which is fine for me, okay, most of my wardrobe probably is from that decade. So, yeah, this is just from her point of view, and I didn't particularly like Kathy Toole as a person. It's extraordinary, okay? She surrounds herself with people and she tries to make herself way more intellectual than what she actually is. This bit here, right? Here we go. This is when she's talking, okay, about when she's drunk, because she's talking about Wordsworth in Europe, right? She always felt strongly with conviction that British people had always hated Europeans, like Anne Boleyn. No one liked that Frenchified bitch. She was also certain that the field of the cloth of gold was central to her argument, though to be honest, she couldn't actually remember its purpose or participants. Her husband leaned over the table and said, not very gently, that you are completely wrong. Said he generally did know everything, and she was quite happy to relinquish the argument and move on to another about publishing. See what I mean? Sitting there with drinking rosé, dropping all these thoughts in her head, she's an intellectual. In reality, she's not. She has imposter syndrome. She lies and creates this fantasy, okay, of her life, okay, way more pretentious than what it actually is. It's kind of refreshing too to read a book about an unreliable narrator, okay. And this is when she's talking about the UK back in 2017. How cute, you sweet summer child, right? This is when also she's talking about the government. I promise homes to buy and actions on rent with the NHS. I commit to time to care. I wed a country where the next generation has better high standards of living than the last. How long did they think it could all go on for? Carrie wanted the NHS forever, obviously, but she's fairly certain by the time she was an old lady, it'd be eaten out of rubbish dumps, chosen from a broiling impossible sun. It was all done, it was all over, there wasn't any hope. Yeah, this defeatist attitude, okay, about the state of the world, yeah, if I Brexit, Trump, everything else in between. But it's all heightened. In Kathy's mind, it's the apocalypse. The apocalypse is happening. But no one else seems to realise apart from her. Okay? And when she talks, okay, about her life, as she even says herself, she's a liar. She's an unreliable narrator. What is actually true, okay, and what's fancy? Okay? You know, the same way, okay, she's lied and says, okay, she's had 11 terminations. Well, what is real now from this point onwards, we don't know. Okay? Alright, like this bit here. What happened to her mother that she cut herself wrist in the bathtub? What happened to her mother is that she checked herself in the slightly run down, quite exclusive, still pretty hotel, tipped the bellboy, chatted to the all night staff, then OD'd in the bathroom not paying the bill. Real or not? We generally don't know. Okay? So, but in her head, Kathy seems to see herself as this kind of like martyr. Essentially, the world is going to hell. However, I am better. Okay, I'm better. I have more control of this. Okay, even though she's all over the place, she's due to be getting married, and even her wedding that she's setting up is, you know, it's going to be an open marriage, and but you know, we're too cool for a typical marriage. Okay, because that's not us. In her head, she sees herself as some kind of rebel when she's really not. All she really is a 40-something writer, okay, just going through the motions, planning a wedding. Right, here you go. This bit here. There is no way to throw things too. That was an environmental slogan Kevin internalized several decades ago, at which she was having to find homes for several dozen almost empty bottles, tins and spray cans of cleaning products she hoarded in her various cupboards, believing it was better if she did her share of custodianship rather than dumping everything in landfill where they soon will be living. See what I mean? Now, everyone else would be, is, oh my god, I can't believe it, I got 4 tins of pledge, right? Not her, she's a custodianship of this. It's better that she hoards them than they be in landfill. See what I mean? Everything about this woman is pretentious. Right. A lot of talk here about politics really kind of running through this, okay? And the fact that she talks about history and politics and people, but it's all surface level, okay? Like this bit here, this bit really kind of sums her up, right? She missed Obama, everyone missed Obama. She missed the sense of time as something serious and diminishing. She didn't like living in the permanent present of the id, okay? But why? Why do you miss Obama as president? It does not explain, she just misses him. You can't miss someone and not explain why you miss him. It doesn't work like that. No. See? And her description of her husband as well, a husband to be, okay, is very, very strange. You don't know if what this kind of setup is. Once again, here being unreliable narrator, or because nobody acts like this. Okay, no one. Yes. Okay. This bit here. It's now 3 days till she gets married. Her husband emails her list of his shopping and cooking intentions, plus a Word document of the household expenses, made them which she finds immediate fault with. $200 a month for electrical, insane. Virgin TV, she won't pay that. She'd been a TV refusenik since she was 7. Standards had to be maintained. Cleaners, fine, okay. She has entered a new era. The cooking and shopping list is more enduring. It's 100% her husband's style. On the morning of the wedding, at 9:30 precisely, he proposes to go to the market for salads, materials, rosemary potatoes, courgettes and strawberries, Yuxel is his, and to check if the fish man is there on Saturday. Order Steve Bass, if so he writes, if not by now. This is their wedding, okay? This is their wedding in a Word document. However, I find it strange, okay, she says I'm a writer, I'm a TV refusenik. However, she is a writer, glued to her social media, glued to Twitter, okay, Instagram no, glued to Twitter, making all these comments. However, she doesn't watch any television. Unreliable narrator. Okay? But I'm a TV, I like that, I'm a TV refusenik because she was 7. You don't have a choice when you're 7 to be a TV refusenik. Okay? Because you're not in control of that. Right. So, but in her head though, even though she's getting married, even though, okay, she's buying a house together, even though she's doing all that, in her head, Kathy is better than everyone. Right. Here we go. Here we go. This bit here. Marriage hadn't sold anything. If it by anything you mean Kathy herself, basically Duca, the feeling nature of existence. If it hadn't stopped time, it was all going all around her. I like to look at you, her husband said, and she didn't speak to him again all the way home. Here you go. Back in her studies, she wasted several hours looking at the comparative virtues of flying versus getting the train from DC to New York. Right. Do you see what I mean? I cannot even get my head around this book. Okay. Then it's on bits of case I was talking, okay, about the 80s. Now, I grew up during the 80s. Now, she speaks about the 80s as someone who was there from the very, very beginning. Even though, if this woman is 40 in 2017, she wouldn't remember what she has now. For someone who's been a TV reviews Nick, her, basically what she knows about that time is through the media being presented, okay? And she sees herself in a way, okay, kind of like a victim of society, and yet she equates her with other victims as well, or what she assumes to be victims. Right, this bit here. Right, here you go. The next day in the room, she cut her own hair in the bathroom mirror and already snipping at random. A boy's got something between Charles and Diana. Right. Kathy liked Diana. She liked hysterics and also stoics. She liked thinking of her prowling around Kensington Palace, carrying her phone in one hand, stepping carefully over the cord, maybe a glass of Chardonnay in the other, talking to Freddie Mercury. Darling, I'm so bored, you can't imagine. Come over. Oh, shall I come round? Making a play of it. Not Marie Antoinette at all, not even that spoiled, just needy and painful and uncontained. Right. When she decided to leak her story, she couldn't believe it wasn't possible for the book to be printed the next day. That's pretty funny, but also understandable, thought Kathy. We're also read over publishing lead times. Right. See what I mean? She equates herself in some ways with Diana. She equates herself with this kind of victimhood. She equates herself with, you know, this book is insane. This book is insanity. This book is absolute insanity. Right. And this bit here, okay, this bit here, she was trying to remember the 1980s, specifically 1987, okay? It specifically a subject with which Kathy was as familiar with as anyone who lived in the epicenter of the crisis pre-combination therapy, i.e. the East Village, New York City. She remembers STD clinics, bum plastic chairs, signage dual translated to English and Spanish. She remembers people dying in the streets and covered in purple of posy. People powered their tricks, friends emancipated, friends juggling drug schedules, funeral protests. What she didn't remember is what exactly people knew in 1987 as opposed to 1988, because you shouldn't remember that at all regarding her age, okay? Why would someone, okay, who would turn 40, so why would a 10-year-old actually know any of this? Why would a 10-year-old remember this? Because she doesn't remember it. These were images that appeared in the media, which she's absorbed them and turned them into her own narrative structure. Now, I remember this quite well, okay, and I've lost friends of mine to the disease too, okay, but what she says she remembers, she was never there for. For someone who's a refusenik of television. Oh, they. Right. So in his pretentious life, okay, which in Kathy's mind is the apocalypse coming, which by the way it clearly isn't because it's 2023, it's been uploaded, okay, unless by the time I upload it and then it's released, so it does happen, it's seen as past tense. There you go. And a lot of comparison, okay, between Europe, because Kathy is actually British, and America, which is where she lives as well. I mean, which one is the best? Which one is? Now, obviously, in America, Trump is going to press the button, okay, and destroy the world. And in the UK, there's Brexit and Ed Miliband, and everything else is going to hell there, okay? It's like she's stuck between a rock and a hard place, emotionally, mentally, you know, she's really not, okay? Right. Right. The gold had gone, also electric power and other utilities. There had been a series of pieces in the London Review of Books, and she read carefully now, but she could barely recall along a slow string of nausea, a sense of the ground being parcelled off between her. Last night a steam train had gone past on the tracks at the bottom of the garden, unexpected visitation, its windows lit gold with old-fashioned lamps. Really? Did that actually happen, or is that just one of Kathy's facts of fancy? She's a liar after all. Right. I mean, this is a literal snapshot of life in the UK in 2017, which, hey, does feel like a long time ago. Everything is literally thrown in on this, okay? Politics, history, and now the Grenfell Tower. Right. Here you go. After Ladbroke Grove, she drove out and saw the blackened skeleton of Grenfell Tower. Somehow she did not realise how many houses or flats were nearby. How many people must have watched their children at the windows. Yeah, Grenfell Tower, 2017. Okay, so in her mind, everything in this, from Diana's anniversary of her death to Trump to Brexit, is building up in her mind again to this apocalypse. Okay, you know. But in Kathy's mind, okay, she's like part of this with kind of bourgeoisie set, okay, that she wore sunglasses to her wedding, because that's what she did. That's what they do, okay, and a long orange coat, because she's just pretentious. So it's better here, okay. And for someone, okay, who likes to go on about she's not like everyone else. She wants exactly the same things, okay? Now, she starts talking, okay, about the Barbican. Now, the Barbican in London is a place where people were killed to live, and Kathy is no different. See, Kathy, in her mind, she is a rebel. She is rebellious. She doesn't own a television, okay? Though she's on the internet and also kind of social media, okay? But she wants to live in the Barbican, okay? Which is like, in a way, like a hippie commune in which no one can afford to live there, right? A rich hippie, you know, a champagne socialist, member of the bourgeoisie, okay? Right, here you go. I'm a real Barbican geek. Kerry was a real Barbican geek. She loved that building. It was the future and the past entwined. She couldn't afford the flat, not really, but she knew it was supposed to belong to her, okay? It was supposed to belong to her. Basically, she belongs in the Barbican, if you understand. It's a very, very interesting book, Crudo, okay? Because in her mind, Kathy is this rebel, you know, talking about politics and Obamacare, but she knows nothing. Everything she talks is on a surface level. To sit there and say, okay, oh, well, people don't, you know, the French don't like Europe, okay, because of Anne Boleyn, okay? To wear sunglasses at your wedding, okay? And for your husband to basically put everything together. In her head, she's a rebel, and she's not. It's all surface and superficiality. I generally like this book. I like the writing style. I like the fact, okay, that from the moment Kathy says she's a liar, you don't know what's real or not. It's kind of refreshing, and it is a snapshot of life in 2017. And we wondered, how could it get worse? And we know what happened next. So, 2023 books of 2023. Sorry, 23 books of 2023. That's better. I sign off here. Take care. Bye now.